Cubs had a tough series against the Mariners. They scored runs, but they didn't pitch. And their lead in the NL Central is now 3.5 games over Milwaukee. Are you concerned? I'm not. Shōta Imanaga is ready to return. The rotation's about to get a jump start. But what do they do with the rest of the guys? One player that they better not take out is Cade Horton, and I'm going to tell you why. We're going to get into that. How about another All-Star game at Wrigley Field? It's been a minute. And with all of the work that they've put into the area, it would be, and the stadium, it would be amazing to have the All-Star game back. Look for that announcement to come up soon and more right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell. Let's get this party started. And if you're a Cardinals fan, hey, thank you guys for being here. You guys pick up the beer. On the What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball channel. Thank you for being here. Put the beer on the Cardinals fans, right? And Cardinals fans, you guys are hanging. Look, you pick up this tab. At Broadcaster Mick on the socials. The funny thing is some of you Cubs fans are like, I don't mind the Cardinals. I don't mind Cardinals fans. I didn't say I minded the Cardinals fans. Except I mind the Cardinals fans. I just want to beat them. And we're about to match up with them. And this is going to be a big series for the Cubs because they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mariners. Kind of a scrappy Mariners team. I felt like the Mariners caught the Cubs at the right time. You know, am I that concerned about what happened at Wrigley? No. The Cubs are a tough team to beat. And the Mariners just had a good series. And the win conditions were crazy and everything else. But you know what? Give them their due. Now you go out and you do it again. And we've been waiting for this series, and now we got this series. All right, the first thing is this. We don't know exactly when yet. And maybe by the time you're watching this video, they'll have said, hey, okay, this is when it's going to happen. But the Cubs are playing the Cardinals. And we got to figure out like what the rotation looks like. And we're going to find that out. Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this. We're going to St. Louis. Now, what day does Shōta Imanaga pitch? It's coming. And he hasn't pitched in a while. He was in Iowa, and he was dicing up guys, and he didn't have an arm problem. And, you know, he's ready to get back out there again. He had a hamstring covering first base on a play. He's been gone for a long time. Cubs need him in the rotation. No doubt about it. And they're going to get him back. So that gives them a 6-man rotation. And the question that a lot of us are asking is, you know, what's the move now? Like, what do you do now that you have him back in the rotation? And Cade Horton was the last guy that the Cubs added. That was May 10th. He's 3-1 and a 3.73 ERA. 8 games, 7 starts, 31 strikeouts, 10 walks, 41 innings. And batters are hitting .269 against him. Listen, if the Cubs take him out of the rotation, and I don't think they will, they are absolutely missing it. This is the guy that's the future of the Cubs rotation. It's going to be him, Justin Steele, Shōta Imanaga, and if they trade for an ace. Okay? This guy's the future. It's Ben Brown and Colin Ray that you got to figure out what you're doing with. And if it was me, I'm putting Ben Brown in the bullpen, and I'm unleashing him. Hey, dude, throw as hard as you can for an inning, get some outs, and I guess I'd probably leave Colin Ray in there. I know it's minimizing a guy that can start, but it doesn't matter. Right now, all that matters is winning the division. And you can tell that the bullpen's kind of, Nate Pearson didn't look good. When Shōta comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not out again. It just doesn't work. He's just not getting it done. And what you want is the competition that they have right now in the bullpen. Like you want competition. And I think that Jed Hoyer, you know what, I criticize him when he needs to be criticized, but like he has created an atmosphere of competition. Like excuse me for saying that, his ass is on the line right now. It is. And if this team doesn't win, he's out. And he's put his whole career into this team. And the sense of urgency that we've seen from the Cubs this year has been tremendous. And the guy that's going to be right now with this team good enough right now to figure it out and then eventually be, I think, one of the best pitchers in baseball is Cade Horton. First round pick out of Oklahoma, 2-sport star, football and baseball. He dominated AAA with a 1.24 ERA in his 6 starts, comes to the big leagues. The defense has not been great behind him. And how many times you watch him pitch, the umpires miss calls, the guys can't catch it, the wind's bad, all the stuff that's going on. And he's like, he just pitches around it. So I'm excited about what Horton's going to be long-term, but I think Horton can be something important for this team this year. And to me, that's why I feel like that Cade Horton has to stay in the rotation. You know, Colin Ray's been pretty consistent. He's not fantastic, but he's good. And then Ben Brown's been like up and down and up and down. Ben Brown to me seems like somebody that would be very, very good in the bullpen. And I got a feeling that that's where he's going to end up, you know, as the Cubs kind of take that next step to, to basically trying to get to talking about the Cubs playoff odds. Let's get gears here and talk about it. Right now, the Cubs are 69.4% chance of winning the division. That's dominant over any other team. The Brewers have a 16% chance. Cubs 30% chance for a bye and 85.7% chance to make the playoffs. So they're still in good position after a tough series against the Mariners. I still think this is a really good team and that they just had one of those weekends where you're like, man, it's just things didn't go their way and they still ended up winning 2 out of 3. Part of it's weather conditions, but nonetheless, you'd love to get back on track again. Now, something else that I thought was worth talking about, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, this has been in the works for a while. And Major League Baseball has been concerned about security issues around Wrigley Field. But I don't think there's anything they can do about it anymore, right? Like, according to Bob Nightingale and Bruce Levine, all these people that cover Major League Baseball on an inside level, Cubs are getting ready to announce that they're going to host the 2027 All-Star Game. It's pretty crazy to me that it's been that long since Wrigley Field hosted the All-Star Game. I mean, it has been that long, right? CBS News Chicago reported this past Wednesday that the Cubs City Council approved $32.1 million plan to upgrade security around Wrigley Field, including anti-terrorism, because that's always been the problem that Major League Baseball is worried about with having the All-Star Game back at Wrigley Field. And I mean, with everything going on in the world, I mean, I guess you would worry about it. Wrigley Field has hosted the All-Star Game 3 times, 1947, 1962, and then, of course, 1990. I can remember Ryan Sandberg dominating in that 1990 All-Star Game, you know, doing his thing in the Derby and everything else. I can't believe 1990. Like, I don't want to tell you that I remember that, but I do remember that. This is special, though. And I know a lot of you guys get on the Ricketts because, you know, you want them to spend more money and, you know, you want them to be more involved in this and that. And I'm not arguing. But what I will say is that they have invested a lot in this franchise and this organization and in the infrastructure of Wrigley. And it's when you put that much money into the stadium and the surrounding areas, the city hasn't helped out a lot. It's important, and that's why, we know that the Cubs are going to be playing at Wrigley for a long time. And just from the business aspect of baseball that I've learned from working in the game for a long time, and I've spent my life working in baseball since I quit playing. Not every ownership is going to invest like the Ricketts have. Look, I remember what it was like when the Tribune owned the Cubs. It stunk. Okay. They didn't invest anything. You know, there's a reason why the Cubs didn't have the resources to contend on a yearly basis, you know, And look, I know we want the Cubs to have a higher payroll and all that stuff, but the Ricketts family's done a really good job with what they've got kind of taken over and the investment that they've put in. And I'm excited for them to get the opportunity for this All-Star game. So that's coming up. Look for that announcement to come any day now. Is it personal? Look, I've been friends with Tom since he bought the team. And I like him. And I'm telling you guys that if you watch the show every day, if I didn't think he was a good dude, I would tell you he's a good dude, and he loves the Cubs. And he was a fan of the Cubs before he owned the team. And I've seen like his stress level change since when he first bought the team to where he is right now, and it's a stressful job. You want to make everybody happy. You have limited resources. I thought Theo put him in a bad position with some of the moves he was making towards the end of his tenure. And, and what kind of where we are right now with Jed, are we going to win now? Let's do it. But you can't argue with the upgrades to the stadium and then what they've done around the stadium and then the concerts too. And all that money is supposed to trickle back to payroll to give you a better advantage to sign guys like Kyle Tucker. And if it's me, I'm figuring out a way to get that done because we got to have this guy long-term. All right, that's it for the show today. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to argue with me, argue with me. I want to hear you because that's what this is all about. I don't have all the answers. I try to, but I certainly love you guys for being part of what we do on a daily basis. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Big series coming up against the Cardinals. Finally, let's get these birds in our scopes. Let's knock them down. Go Cubs.